Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at NECA's Thermal Vision Fugitive Predator figure from the new movie The Predator, which was an abomination of a film. However, this is a cool enough Predator design, and NECA just they just went crazy and made that thermal vision look, and it is exceptionally cool looking. It is probably the most unique looking Predator they have ever made. I can't think of anything else except maybe the vacuum chrome ones with the clear plastic. Nope, this still beats that. It's a very cool looking figure. It's basically the same figure as the one we already looked at, so this is going to be a pretty quick review, but it looks pretty spiffy. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 22 centimeters to the top of his mask, which makes him just about, let's say, 8 3/4 inches, right around there, and I've got him pretty much straight up and down. And I want to point out the fact that their paint job is absolutely bootyful. It looks really nice. I knocked that off. It's not broken. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's made entirely out of translucent blue plastic, which is just the most saturated, vibrant, translucent blue that I have ever seen on a Predator figure, or just about any figure ever. I absolutely love that. That's a personal thing, but they did a good job. It's very uniform. It's very nice. Obviously, some spots, like the tips of the hair, seem lighter. That's just the nature of things. So they did a really, really good job with that, but they did a really, really good job with the thermal vision look. No, it makes no sense. Why is half of his face hot and the other half cold? I get it. It's supposed to look like the cover art, and that's fine. But for those of you engineers out there, thermal engineers, that's probably a thing. You're going to be irritated by that. But it's fine. It still looks fantabulous. It's so cool looking. I love it. So aesthetics on this guy, 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. It could be any variation between 9 and 10, only because I think you could have more of the warm spots if we're getting nitty picky. If we're gonna pick some nits, then I would say you could have more warm spots. But as it stands, it looks beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Love it. And like, this is the big feature of this review because we've seen the figure before, so I really want to drive home the fact that this thing looks great in hand. It's not just the beauty shots you see online or pictures. It looks fantastic. So if you have to order online, rest assured you're gonna like the way it looks. I guarantee it. And if you have to go to the store to find it, then you'll see firsthand that it is gorgeous. So the aesthetics are by far the most important thing. As far as accessories go, we only have the claws. If you want to even count them as accessories, I guess you can, because you wouldn't have them on all the time, I guess. I don't really remember from the movie. This design doesn't really make sense to me, so there's no place for them to go, so they would have to be on all the time. I don't remember that being the case, but maybe it is. So either way, you only have the blades. They're not really claws, and they work well enough. They could peg in a little bit more sufficiently, more securely, but they're fine. If you don't mess with them, they're not going to pop off, so they're fine. And they're still translucent blue and have the heat vision on them. Again, it doesn't quite make sense, but it looks fine. So accessory wise, 5 out of 10. Nothing really doing there. We do have his little blaster up here. It is permanently connected, so it's not an accessory, but it does have nice little hinges on there, which don't seem like they're going to break. They are very tiny, so obviously that's a risk, but there's nothing they can do about that. But the hinges themselves are pretty nice. They could be a little stiffer. You can see there's a little bit of looseness in there, but they do function, and they are not inherently problematic based on what is there. I mean, it's tiny, so that's that, but as far as NECA goes, man, this figure looks cool. Just look at it. You can't even tell it's an action figure. If you're just looking at it like that, it looks like a painting or something. I love the way it looks, and I don't even personally care for this design that much, but it's like, oh man, oh baby, it's so nice. Okay, as far as articulation goes, the head's on a single or double, I don't know. They keep changing things, but it functions well enough. You can rotate it. It'll look up a little bit, it'll look down a little bit. I don't think it has one of those giant ball pegs like those two other Predators that I reviewed recently, but maybe. It does seem to function pretty well, so I like that. The dreads are still nice and soft, so that's okay. Shoulder armor is separated, even though it's still connected to the torso, it's separated, so you should be able to raise the arms up pretty well. Let's see if I can. Not quite horizontal, but it's okay. NECA's stuff sometimes has less range to sacrifice for the aesthetic, and I think that's okay. You do, of course, get your full rotation, except this is going to be in the way, so you can't really go all the way. You have a double jointed elbow, which works very nicely. I like that a whole bunch, and it will rotate at the top and at the bottom if you want it to do that. You have no bicep swivel, but this is definitely a functional joint, so that's fine. The wrists have a swivel and a hinge in them, so that's okay. That's fine. And for the diaphragm, I think it's a double. It should be a double. It doesn't really matter what it is because it is glorious. You can just do whatever you want with this guy. It is very nice. And this is a soft piece. You can have it on the outside. You can tuck it into his crotch if you want to. Same thing back here. It's totally up to you what you do with that. I don't know which way is accurate. I know a lot of the promo shots had it like that, but I would tuck it in probably because it makes more sense. Up to you. So you have that diaphragm joint, and then you should also, yeah, there is a ball peg in there for it's just a swivel as far as I can tell. It might technically be a ball peg for actual range, but mine doesn't want to move. You can see it's like snapping back, and that means something is stuck, and I'm actually stressing the plastic, and if I twist it too much, it's going to break. So be very careful. If yours has that problem, either leave it alone or be extra careful. But since the diaphragm works so well, I wouldn't even worry about that bottom joint. For the hips, we can get them all the way out to the sides, basically. Full-on splits, very impressive. As far as Predators go, that's probably more than enough. Bringing the legs forward, not as quite as impressive as the splits, but definitely enough. They do go backwards a little bit too. Be aware, once the legs are posed, it's fine, but if there's any extra play in them, they will do this. So, I mean, they don't do it on their own, you have to do it, but you can see what I'm talking about. There is that connected looseness. So that's par for the course. Be aware of that. If you keep them just together like this, you can see he's quite floppy. That is not good. But if you pose them a little bit, it's less floppy. It's still a problem. It's a serious problem, and I hate to have a negative thing to say about such a cool looking figure that was so well executed, but they really need to fix this. Like, this is ongoing for years now, this problem. No bueno. They need to fix that. These are loose pieces if you didn't notice, so they'll just move around. You do get a thigh swivel on the legs, double jointed knees, which have rotation at the top part, but really nice double joint there anyway. And then a ball peg for the ankle, which is sufficient. It's about as good as they get for the ball pegs for the Predators. So articulation on this guy is not perfect, but I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Obviously the looseness is a problem, but the really nice diaphragm joint and otherwise pretty much functional batch of articulation makes this guy a happy camper. So 8 out of 10 for that. And then my final verdict on this guy, I am just quite smitten with it. And I don't see anybody not looking at this and going, oh my goodness, that's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. Yes, it's not perfect, or I should say no, it's not perfect, depending on how you phrased your mental questions. But as far as it being what it's supposed to be, it's hitting on all cylinders. That loose hip thing is really the only issue. Mine's stuck. Maybe that's a universal issue. I can't say for sure. So those are two minor things. I'm going to give this guy a 9 out of 10. Overall, a 9. Beautiful, beautiful Predator paint jobs out of 10. It is just gorgeous. And I didn't even think I was going to like this. I thought I was going to be like, it's another camo type paint job. Who cares? Nope, this one's going to stand out for sure. So I definitely 100% recommend this. If you were thinking about getting it, get you one. You're going to like it. There it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if for some strange reason you did not enjoy this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so, because I have thousands of videos that are made just for you. Every video I make is for your benefit, and they're pretty much all reviews, so they have a good chance of saving you money, or at least making you a happy person when you're buying something. What's not to like about that? So make sure you check out all of those videos, and in the meantime, keep collecting.